There. Suppose I told you that the biggest problem with the car market now is not the influx of Chinese cars. It's not the fact that banks are only giving loans for cars that are 5 years or younger. The main problem with the car market now is that the underbelly, which is the used car section of the car market, that's the section that has the most problems as we speak. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I am Jace, and this is Drive DNA, where we take a deeper look behind the scenes on what's really going on with the car market. We compare, we review interesting cars, you know, kind of peel back the curtain on what's going on. So, if you're new here and you like this type of content, make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment, and let somebody else know that Drive DNA is right here. Now, you may be saying, Jay, what do you mean a 16-year-old car is the issue with the car market? No. Let me break it down like this. The structure that any wealthy society is built on is the middle class. Jamaica has an absent middle class. That's why our country is considered a third world country. That's why our country is considered a developing country. Now, if Jamaica had a strong middle class, then we would be recognized as a developed country. We would be recognized as a country that is on the verge, or so to speak. So is the car market. The used car section of the market is where a majority is shopping. You're looking for a car now. Before you get to the eventual decision of saying, you know what, I'm going to have to take out a car loan because I can't find anything within budget and within reason, you're going to look through the used car market. Whether you're going to look on Facebook, whether you're going to look on Instagram, whether you're going to look on one of the automotive website platforms in Jamaica, you're going to search there and you're going to try to find something that is good, clean, nice, and within your budget. It is now when you get to that area and you can't find anything, that is when you say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to have to look myself higher. I'm going to have to up the budget. I'm going to have to look within the new car realm. And the Chinese cars, they make it so easy for you to shop within the new car realm because they have fully loaded cars sometimes at reasonable prices. So you say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to shop here. It's easier for me to get a loan there. And that is where you end up landing. Now, what's really, you've identified the issue, basically, which is the used car market is not as strong as it was. People are no longer finding bargains at the used car market level. So, How does this car tie into everything that you're saying? You see, cars like these are what regular folks used to just take to a dealership. This is a 2011, by the way. You just take this to a dealership and you would say, okay, I want to upgrade. What's a reasonable upgrade from a 2011? You'd say, okay, a 2015 or a 2016. Okay, that's a reasonable upgrade. That's still within range of where you're coming from. You're not putting your basket further than you can reach. That's no longer the case. Because I can tell you, if I bring this car to a car dealership right now, I am probably going to get a very insulting offer. And guess what? You see that insulting offer is going to want to make you keep your car. Because what you would pay for this car new, let me see, 2011. 2011 Mazda Demio. 5, 6 years ago, if you were getting this car newly imported, you'd probably be paying like, I would say reasonably 1.2 or 1.350 to say a newly imported Mazda Demio. Fast forward 6 or 7 years later, that dealer is not giving you anywhere close to that car, to that value rather, that you paid for this car, basically newly imported. So what do? You're faced with a conundrum. Do I give away the car that is taking me from point A to point B every single day in hopes that I give you this car, then I'm going to have to turn around and get a loan of a double or triple the amount to get that 2015 or 2016 car? A lot of persons aren't doing that anymore. So guess what they're doing? It's either they stick with the car that they have or they jump to the top of the queue and get a Chinese import, which you really can't blame them. Because guess what? If I'm going to pay upwards of $2, $3 million for a car that's newly imported, it's not new. A lot of persons get this confused. The term newly imported does not mean brand new car. The term newly imported means first time in Jamaica. That's the only thing that it means. So this car probably could have had a rough life in Japan, or, you know, dealers are importing cars from Singapore. Some cars are even coming from all the way up as far as Pakistan. So that car could have had a rough life. Let me just check this. Okay, we're still rolling. Anyways, that car could have had a rough life where it's coming from, but you got it now and it's labeled newly imported. You don't know the problems that it comes with. Because I've seen in my experience over 12 years in the automotive landscape, new cars, newly imported cars landing in Jamaica, and the engine isn't good, the transmission isn't good, the car needs 4 brand new shocks. So those are things that can reach you even with a newly imported car. So, as I was saying, those are the things that can reach you even with a newly imported car. So, what does John Public do? John Public says, you know what? You see this car? I'm going to keep this car. I'm going to keep this car as my jump round car. And I'm going to get one of those Chinese imports. Fully loaded, warranty, all the works, all the shebang. And I'm going to totally undercut the used car market. Why sense shop there when I'm not getting value? So guess what? Newly imported cars are sitting on the lots longer. Dealers having problems moving those cars. Even though the bank is facilitating loans for those cars, John Public is saying, okay, you have a 2019 CRV that you want to sell me for 4.5 million. But guess what? I could go down to Jetour, or I could go down to MG, or I could go down to Changang and get a car of similar ilk for probably 6 million. And that's a brand new car. And it's already loaded with features. So, Mr. Used Car Man is having a big problem because even though he has a rep at the bank, the rep at the bank is saying to him, nobody's coming in for newly imported cars. Everybody's coming in for the jet tours and those kind of cars. So, newly imported cars sit. These cars get more valuable. Now you're getting the point. I have this car and it's a 2011. You have a 2016 selling for 2 or 3 times this. But still, you want to give me peanuts for this. What happens? The man who exclusively sells used cars, they can't find any cars anymore because the value is going up on these used cars, but the dealer still wants to make money. So is that dealer going to pay you close to market value and then put his add-on on? No, he's going to want to buy the car for 50% below market value that he can make the 70%. And John Public is saying no. So, what's going to happen from here? Will the market correct itself? Well, that's a bit of an unknown. You see, Jamaica has never really had an influx of outside brands challenging the major brands like this. When Kia and Hyundai came about, it was like, okay, people say, all right, these cars are cool. All right, okay. But when the jet tours hit, Jamaicans stood up and like, mm-mm, I want that. Like, I want that. The Land Cruiser Prado 2026 is starting from 15.8 million. The Jetour G700 fully loaded is like 15 million. I'm like, I want that. I want that. That's what I want. The T2s are like 6, 7 million. And a Honda CRV is starting at 10 million. Like, I want that. So, we don't know. Will the market correct itself? I got no idea. But what I can say to you is that if you have a used car like this, consider holding on to it a little bit longer. Don't be in a rush to just get rid of it. Because I can tell you, In the next year or so, these cars that we look on as everyday, just everyday car, these cars are gonna be more pricey. These cars are gonna go up in value because people are now getting wise. Not everybody can afford 15 million. Not everybody can afford 5 million. Not everybody can afford 3 million. So, what are they gonna do? They're gonna hunt for cars like these, and then cars like these are gonna become more scarce. Scarcity pushes the price up. You're gonna buy a car like this, and you're gonna say what? You know what? It's a 2011. It's modern. It has ABS. It has airbags. It has certain safety features. What am I gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do with this car? I'm gonna pimp this car out. I'm gonna make this car in my own personality. That's why you see so many 110s and 111s shutting up the place. So many EKs, so many M3, like from 2012, 2011, like well kitted out and fancy and all these things. People are gonna buy those cars and they're gonna make them in their own image. Whether they need to put on a new seat wrap, put on some rims, put a sound system in, if they need to paint it in the color that they like, put on some vinyl to make it look good. Yes. And I know that at the end right there, my argument sounds like a counter argument to the first argument that I made, that these cars are the problem. But I know that you're smart enough to look through the fine details and see that the problem is also the solution. This car is a problem in the used car market, but it's also the solution. Quickly, what do I mean? It's a problem that these cars are not moving as they normally do. They're not trading hands as much as they normally do. Because you normally say, okay, 2011 Demio, you know what, I'm going to buy that car for my daughter, her first car. You ain't finding this you not finding this anymore. That's a problem. The solution, if these cars are moving hand more frequently, then more cars would move. Because guess what? The dealer would come and trade up on this. You bring this to the dealership, they give you a fair trade, you get a new car. Guess what? The dealer gets a car like this that they can make $100,000 or $150,000 offer and still sell you a new car that they probably made $100,000 or $200,000 off of. So that's my take. Let me know in the comment section. What do you think? Is the underbelly of the car society, which is the used cars, causing the problem? Or do we blame it on the Chinese for bringing in such affordable luxury cars? Until the next one, guys. This has been your boy Jay, and this has been Drive DNA. Peace out.